You're talking about aggressive panhandlers, road rage, angry dude you bumped into at Chili's.
Wilderness Tactical has been around for longer than the gun you're carrying has been, and they have been making high quality products for concealed carriers for literally decades. I wear their low pro belt every year. The webbing is the best in the industry, and I won't wear anything else. If you're looking for a good CCW belt, check them out.
Stuff like that. Break contact is the key and getaway is your best bet. Can't tell you enough to swallow your ego. I see so many guys in road rage scenarios, I see so many guys get into fights with somebody they'll never see again in their life. Why would we do that? What's the underlying motivation for getting in a road rage fight? They're not doing that to me. I'm gonna win. I need to win this fight. They did that on purpose. They did that purposefully to me. No, they didn't. When's the last time you did that purposefully to someone? In a road situation, you probably were thoughtless. You were thinking about 100 other things. You weren't like, yeah, fuck that guy. They're probably not either. So your ego gets involved and gets invested, and you got to do something about that. They're not doing that to me. Nobody has the right to do that to me. Now you're choosing optional fights. And instead, if you just swallow your ego, okay, whatever, I know who I am. So this to me is part of spiritual fitness, because spiritual fitness says I know who I am, I know how I relate to God and to my world, and I don't need your approval. And if I don't need your approval, then I don't need you to think the world of me, because I'm okay. There's only really a couple people in my life whose opinion really matters to me. One of my favorite tricks for this, one of my favorite authors is Brené Brown. Okay? If you have not read Brené Brown, I love everything Brené Brown has ever written. She is my spirit animal. We are best friends. She just doesn't know it. Okay? And one of my favorite Brené Brownisms is your 1-inch square. So she says you can take a 1-inch square of paper, and on that square, you get to write the names of everyone whose opinion matters to you. But you only get a 1-inch square. So sure, you can write super small, but you only get a 1-inch square. So when somebody says something ugly or mean about you or to you, go look at your square. Is there a name on it? No? Disregard. Yes? Pay attention. Or if you're like, man, I'm worried that this other person who's not on my square is right, go ask the people on your square if they're right. They'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you the truth. That 1-inch square, then again, that guy who cuts you off in the parking lot of Chili's, probably not on your square. And when he's not on your square, his opinion doesn't matter. So break contact as well as you are. Apologizing, saying you're sorry goes a long way. Making it right goes a long way. So again, you bump somebody at the bar, at Chili's, right, at Applebee's. You bump a guy and he spills his beer all over you. Now, I think for a lot of us, you get mad. Yeah, what's wrong with you, man? You're so clumsy and whatever. Blah, blah. Spilled your beer all over me. Instead of, oh my gosh, oh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. You all right, man? And he's all mad. Oh, I spilled my beer. You backed up into me. Dude, you're right. I backed into you. I am so sorry. Can I buy you another beer? Let me buy you another beer to make this right. Even if it wasn't your fault. If staying out of a fight cost me a beer, is that a good price? Yes. What does it require, though? It requires humility. But I believe that exhibits the character of Jesus. So being willing to go, it's okay. I'll eat a little crow, even if it's not crow that I've earned. And just let that go, then that's fine. If you have to agree with them. Told this story last night, I'll tell it to you guys again. One of my very favorite ones. My middle child, having a really rough night with mom. After she'd moved back home with us, she's like, Papa, can we go for a drive? Sure, get in my car. She used to like to ride. I used to drive a Mustang with some tasteful performance upgrades. Had put about 500 horsepower to the rear wheels, a little bit more than 500 horses. This 2017 Mustang GT was fast, but it didn't look like a fast car. It looked like a stock GT on the outside. So people would roll up to me in like their M4 thinking they could smoke me, or their STI. And I'd be like, later, player. So she used to like to do that. And we'd have a good time. It's loud and all those things. So we go for a drive, pull into a local Quick Trip because she wants a slushie. Cool, get out, get her a slushie. Been about to pay for it. This dude cuts in line in front of us to pay for it, says he wants some smokes, and he's got like a monster. Guy says, yeah, man, it's $9 or whatever. He goes for his pockets and he doesn't have any money with him or whatever. And he gets pissed off and like shoves the stuff at the clerk. Like, God damn it. And like shoves the stuff at him and then walks out the door. Okay, bro, whatever. We get up there. Yeah, it's just hers. Here's a couple dollars. Here's $2 bills, whatever. Well, as we walk out, you walk out the front door of a Quick Trip and there's two handicap parking spots right in front. And the door, is right in between them. He's parked in this left-hand spot without a handicap tag, and this right one is open. So we walk out 20 seconds after him, and my daughter's to my right, I'm in the middle, and he, as we we angle over into this spot, and he peels out like this out of this spot in his little crappy old pickup truck, like a little one, like a little Nissan Datsun old thing. And I was like, whoa. So I put my hand out for it and I looked and I was like, well, I'm not going in front of him. I was like, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. And he leans out his passenger side window and looks me right in the eyes and goes, fuck you. Hell did I do to you, dude? I haven't even interacted with you. I don't know you from Adam. Now understand, I have an ego too. I have my child with me. You ain't got the right to talk to me that way. I have a full toolkit on me. My IFAC on my ankle, my OC spray in my pocket, P30 Lem in a holster appendix, 17 plus 1, 147 grain HSTs loaded up. Friend, you have chosen poorly. 18 years of martial arts study. If you want to fight, you have found a good one. But now listen, here's the reality of things. If he gets out of that car with a gun in his hand because he's pissed off at me and I decide I want to pick that fight, what happens?
He's going to die and the rest of your days and stuff, plus years.
My best case scenario if he gets out with a gun in his hand is he dies or he gets shot and lives through it. And now my child is traumatized for the rest of their life. Now I have to hire an attorney. I have FLP and all that stuff. But the rest of my night is ruined, weeks ahead. It's the worst day of my life. Okay? He gets out with a knife in his hand instead, and I point a gun at him. Back up, buddy. Then he goes, woo, and jumps in the car and runs off. Now what happens? Now I got to call 911. Now the cops have got to be there. I got to get involved in the criminal justice system because they're going to arrest the guy, and I'm the guy that's on there. So guess what? The whole rest of my night is ruined. Now the investigators are looking at me. I still got to hire an attorney because I pointed a gun at somebody. All right, he gets out instead, and he wants to fight, and I OC spray him. He doesn't have anything in his hands, but he gets out and he wants to fight, and I go, I don't want to fight you. Now what happens? Got to call 911, got to get involved with the cops, everything's there. Now I got to justify my actions, I got to testify in court, all these other things. See how all these are bad outcomes? It's just bad days all the way around. And my child is traumatized by all of this, and my day is ruined. So I had this, and he's like, fuck you, buddy. And I was like, you know what, man? You're right. Fuck me. Totally, bro. I'm so sorry. Fuck me. And he literally looked like a dog that had heard a sound that he wouldn't do. He's like, literally, that guy was like, rawr, and put his car in drive, boom, off he went. My kiddo was like, what was that? I have no idea, man. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Seriously, hand to God, that absolutely happened. I told that story. They were with me at the NRA annual meetings doing videography for me, and I told that story. And some people were like, I don't know, man. And they were like, nope, that's exactly what happened. I was there. Then we go to walk to the car, and there's two dudes gassing their motorcycles up there because I'd left the car at the pump. And two dudes getting in their motorcycles, and one of them looks at me and goes, hey, you're the ASP guy, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, man, that's me. He goes, oh, that guy didn't know what he just about bought. And I was like, yeah, I'm grateful nothing happened, man. You guys have a nice night. Keep your shiny side up. And we got in the car, and off we went. And it was a fine day. Had a great talk with my child about it's okay to eat our ego. We don't have to get in fights. And went along with our day. No fights had. Easy day, right? Now, there are other times that you can't necessarily do that things go down, right? So had a... the house we lived in for 17 years, my two oldest live in that house now. It's a nice house in a middle-class neighborhood. It's a nice house. It's an okay house. It's a little older in a middle-class neighborhood. And one of my across-the-street neighbors had moved out of the house and left her son there, who is kind of a shithead. And her son had moved his girlfriend in, and they had a volatile relationship. So 2 o'clock one Saturday morning, they're out in the front yard arguing at each other, right? Had too much to drink, getting up on each other's business. Could you guys please get on each other's nerves inside and not outside, right? And our house is kind of, it's not a cul-de-sac, but it's like a horseshoe. So we're kind of in the inside middle of the horseshoe, and they were kind of over on this edge. So it wakes us up. I get up, put on some pants, look out the front door, and they're in the front yard yipping at each other. Shit. Laura gets up. What's going on? She's got the phone in her hand, and I go, okay, as long as they're just arguing in the front yard, it's fine, whatever. But when he puts his hands on her, I'm going to have to get involved. Laura's like, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, babe, I'm sorry. I was just raised in a way that I can't stand by while a man puts his hands on his wife or on his lady. I just can't. You got on her side, I can't do it. And she's like, all right, whatever. So I had a pair of pants on, which means I had a gun on, and I had an OC spray that I'd thrown in my pocket. 2 o'clock in the morning stuff, right? So I got my house shoes on and that stuff. Sure enough, eventually he picks her up and shakes her real hard. There we go. Open the door, holler at him from across the street, hey! As soon as he sees me coming, he freaking dropped her, jumped in his car, and drove off. Perfect. Thank God, right? We sat there with her for an hour till the cops showed up, 2 o'clock in the morning. She's all weepy and all that stuff. It was his house too, by the way. The cops are like, yeah, we're not going to chase him, but we'll pick him up on, we'll get a warrant sworn out for him, Got her statement, we'll get a warrant sworn out for him. Eventually we'll pick him up, and then when we do, they'll charge him. Thumbs up, have a nice night, go back to my house. Now, of course, I got to live with that guy across the street for the time being. They did pick him up a while later. I ended up testifying in court. It was kind of fun as a material witness. She didn't show up to court. They had broken up in the interim. She'd moved out of town. She didn't show up to court. I did. So they didn't convict him of domestic violence because she wasn't there to verify that she was a domestic partner. So I did. They convicted him of assault. And he was all pissed off, Man, what are you doing? Why are you testifying? It's your fault I got convicted of assault. No, buddy. It's your fault you got convicted of assault. So he picked him up and shook him real good, his scumbag defense attorney. How do you know he wasn't just helping her? Well, counselor, I can pick you up and shake you like he did him, and you can see if it was helpful. No, that won't be necessary. Yeah, I didn't think so.